where did that come from?
I don't know. Some guy just came delivering gifts.
Steve!
Good morning, Stormy.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. I got my coffee. Thank you.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know. Some guy just came delivering gifts.
I have other gifts for you.
Yeah, I see that. What do we have?
Well, open it up.
Yeah.
I made a video showing this earlier. I don't know if I'm going to post it after this or before it or whatever, but anyhow, check out what we got.
Did you already open this?
I did open it.
Oh,
Just
so this
open
is
up
like
the
a
lid.
Second opening.
Second opening, but you don't know what it is
Yeah,
yet.
that's not good. Oh, man.
I made it easy for you.
I'm not commenting on any of this. My mind is going in bad places.
What'd you get?
All right, so we got some Captain Americas.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We got another roll of Captain Americas.
Boom. What do we got
What do we
there?
have here? Iron Man.
I gave you all the packing peanuts.
I love it. Thanks for the peanuts, bud. And another roll of Iron Mans, which is cool because we're short a couple of these in the display. So
let's
now
take a
we're going to
look.
round out the series, man.
All right, here I'm gonna grab my mic. Here, let's go. Let's take a. What do you got? What do you got in the display case?
So we have all 7 of the other ones. The only thing I was lacking was the Iron Mans.
Nice.
And here they are. We can fill them up. So now I have at least 3 complete sets of the Marvels coins.
You got the Spideys, and you've been selling them, right?
Yeah, they've been going, yeah. That's what I have left.
So, as you are playing around with your display, one of the things that you and I were talking about was how coin shops source their items. One of the things that I've noticed with when I've been doing my auctions and everything, like people will talk to me and they'll ask me to find a certain item, or hey, when you're at the coin shop next time, can you get X? Can you get this? And the thing is, I tell them it doesn't really work that way. The coin shops don't always have everything in stock that people think that they might. So how do you source your precious metals?
So a lot of things that I think people don't understand is that, right, we don't have everything in stock. A lot of times we're living off of things that come in over the counter. Especially, like we'll stock the normal everyday type of items, but the oddball, the one-offs, we may not always have that, and we're not going to... It's difficult for us to go searching for these things because there's a little bit of dealer back-end etiquette that I guess I'll explain to you. We don't... If you're just shopping for a coin, no, you're looking for the best price, which is totally understandable. I'm not going to call my dealer friends or other people that know me and say, hey, what can you do on this particular coin, because I'm wasting their time.
Right.
It's just bad etiquette in the back end. It's not what a dealer is not going to just go and ask pricing on a coin to maybe sell it. It's just bad business. It's frowned upon. We don't, as dealers, we're very busy. We don't have time to worry about pricing things out all the time. So that's one of the reasons we don't do it. Secondly is, oftentimes there's not enough in it. We work pretty close on pricing. There's not enough money in the item for us to spend a tremendous amount of time looking for one, to try to find one. If it comes over the counter, of course, we're happy to sell it. And a lot of times with the better pieces, they come in onesies, twosies, and they go very quickly. Because I get on the phone, I have a couple of people that I have written down on the list, and it's sold.
Right.
So I know we don't have these things. The other thing, too, I think a lot of people don't understand with the bullion world, recently we've been getting a high volume call for quarter-ounce gold. For me to go on the wholesale market and buy quarter-ounce gold, I can't just buy 5 quarter-ounce pieces. I'm going to need to buy a whole roll, which is going to equal 5 to 10 ounces of coins, total weight. That's a lot of money to put out for me to just sit and say, well, maybe somebody's going to come in and buy 1 or 2 pieces, and then I'm going to be sitting on the rest. We have to use our capital to the best of our advantage, right? So we need to be able to buy and sell. So to be buying a lot of product that's expensive, that ties up a bunch of the capital, that goes slowly, is not a good strategy.
Yeah.
So that's the sourcing thing.
So where would you say, so the majority of the stuff that you get, you would say approximately how much in percentage-wise would you say comes through the door?
it's, you know, we're in weird times right now. Right now, not a high percentage. A lot of people haven't been selling for a long, like they've been holding on. Because of COVID, you know, they don't want to be out on town for whatever the reason may be. It's summertime. People are going on vacation a lot, so people are away from home. They're not doing their hobbies right now. They're traveling. They're doing family things, which we haven't been able to do for a long time. So it's really slowed the flow in coming over the counter. That's starting to pick back up now, because I think people are getting home from their vacations.
Right.
You know, life's getting back to normal per se, at least on some levels. So we're starting to see more stuff coming in over the counter. But for a while there, it was pretty slow going.
Right.
I was buying a lot more on the wholesale market, so I was buying from other dealers, which means that the margin's much smaller. So that always makes it more difficult. It lends back to what I was saying before. You know, you're not going to just go to a dealer and say, hey, I need one piece. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You buy it in bulk.
Right. Yeah, and for me, you know, I come in here and I source from you, and typically I'm always, you know, pulling stuff out of this case in particular, because this seems to be the majority of what the people on my channel like. You know, they do like the numismatic stuff and the older stuff, which, you know, you got a lot of that too. But I personally don't sell as much of that. So for me, I've been doing a lot of my sourcing from you, but also some of the online dealers. You know, one of them being, you know, JM Bullion. You know, on occasion I'll do something from like a Crown Mint or AppMex. But out of those, you know, online dealers, do you typically do a lot of purchasing through them, or?
Normally I don't.
Yeah.
We actually, as I'm on the same level as they are, so they can buy on the wholesale level.
Right.
Same as me. I buy off the wholesale level. So normally, right, if I was to buy directly off of their site, there's almost nothing left in it for me.
Yeah, then you're at retail.
Yeah.
Just like,
you know, if a coin comes out and it's a one-off and they're the only one selling it, and I got to get into I just wade into the pool with everybody else, and I buy it on speculation, which I try not to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do, because I have clientele that don't want to go on there. They don't. Maybe they're not computer savvy, or they just don't like to buy online. So
right.
I usually bring it in here, but I'll only get just enough of it to sell on the retail market.
Yeah. So now when you see things starting to pick up and people are coming in, bringing you their stuff to sell it to you, are you typically just getting, you know, odds and ends? Are you getting, you know, just entire estates where it's, you know, anything from coins to stamps and silverware? Like, what do you find to be the majority of the things that you're buying off of people that come in here?
A lot of it's, you know, the old, you know, a lot of people say my dad's coin collection, or it was my family's coin collection. You know, I find there's a difference between a coin collector and a coin accumulator. And a lot of times the collections that come in are just accumulations. You know, people knew that silver was no longer used in our currency, so they started hoarding the silver. So over the years, they've amassed a pretty large collection, or a decent amount. And that's usually what we're seeing coming in. So it's a lot of the pre-64 junk silver. The Morgan silver dollars are a staple in anybody's collection, usually. Sterling flatwares have been a big deal. That's been a lot of that coming in recently. You know, nobody's using sterling at Thanksgiving anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
it's easier to just use plastic and
right.
grab everything and toss it.
Yeah, I mean that, right? And we just use regular silverware.
Right.
I think we've kind of come to that.
Right.
So people are not using it, and they're getting rid of that type of stuff. You know, scrap gold, scrap unwanted jewelry, diamonds, that kind of stuff has been coming in with the estates. So that's every once in a while, collector coins actually come in better quality. But normally, to be honest with you, in collections, it's mostly just junk silver.
So I was going to say, because you always have a supply of junk silver, like you rarely are out of anything. And I've always actually wondered, where the heck is he always getting? Like, I'm like, do you have any standing Liberty quarters? You're like, oh yeah, here. And you give me like tubes and bags of them. Here, like, here, have fun, knock yourself out. You always have Morgan dollars, peace dollars. So I was always curious as to where you're always sourcing the stuff from.
Yeah, the Morgan dollars and peace dollar are meat and potatoes of the coin collecting world. So that's something that we deal with every day. I mean, I honestly can tell you that I handle probably upwards of 30,000 Morgan dollars a year.
Oh my God.
Right. That is not an exaggeration. So when I sell it, sometimes I sell them by the bag if I have that many, but I move them pretty quickly.
But you're just getting that stuff from people just coming in, like, here,
yeah,
this is my dad's collection.
5 here. Sometimes I'll buy 100 here, or I'll buy 60 pieces here.
Right.
You know, it's onesies, twosies, but it all adds up. when you're doing that multiple times a day,
Yeah.
you know, you see a lot of Morgan dollars over
Yeah.
time. A lot of times they're just the average circulated, not better than calls of the XF grade.
Right.
And occasionally you get the better pieces, but that's from usually somebody who's been collecting.
Right.
Like you do get estates, or you do get collections from an actual collector that was avidly collecting coins and putting together a series of coins. They do come in, but they're not as often. It's probably 1 in 10.
The things that come in like those books. What are those books called again?
Those can be the Dansco or the
Yeah.
Whitman.
So
Littleton are the green ones.
do people come in and ever just give you like entire books?
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I just bought a really nice piece dollar collection. It was a complete series. It was very nice. Even the keys were XF to AU. I mean, it was a nice looking collection.
Do you strip it down and sell them off like individually, or do you sometimes just like put the entire collection
If
up?
I have somebody like a client who comes in that's
Right.
established a relationship with me, and again, I was sort of alluding to that before. That's the advantage of developing a relationship with a dealer. So you learn one another. You've done enough transactions where he knows confidently he's going to be able to call you up and say, "Hey, I got this beautiful piece dollar collection that just came in. Is that something for you?" Once you develop that rapport, that's what happens. That's the beauty of having a relationship with a
Yeah.
dealer. But to answer your question is, this particular collection I did not. I actually turned it over to another dealer who's been asking and has been selling a lot of the piece dollars recently. So I made a phone call and I just flipped it over.
Flipped it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a good point that you brought up. The importance of having a relationship with your LCS. Online, my relationships are primarily either in my Instagram or during my YouTube auctions. And after a while, I get to recognize the buying patterns of certain individuals, and I know what they like. Somebody drops on, I'm like, oh, there's the Libertad guy. I know that guy likes his Libertads, and I make sure I have them ready
Yeah,
and
that's
waiting.
exactly the same thing that happens here at the store.
Yeah.
When somebody pulls up, I'm like, hey, Joe's here, and he's into the carts and cities, or he's a stacker, or he likes his gold, and like I kind of know where they are, what they're usually in here to buy.
Yeah.
So I can kind of cater to them.
So what do I like?
You like all the new stuff, man.
I always get this stuff. And you get pissed off when I clear you out of some of it.
Yeah, Stormy's notorious for coming in here and cleaning me out of all of my backdate kooks or stuff that's
Libertads.
hard to acquire. Where
You're
I
like,
got
leave
lucky and a
them.
bunch of pieces came in with an estate, and I'm like, oh, cool, I got something a little different. It's like, oh, what do you have over there?
Yeah. So the one takeaway I would say for people is to recognize that you do try to have a lot available, so that way people walk away happy and have something. But oftentimes, you're not pounding the pavement looking for stuff for people saying, "Hey, do you have one of these?"
I definitely will. I mean, don't take that whole thing wrong that I won't hunt for you. I certainly will.
Yeah.
But again, that's where it kind of works out. If you have developed a relationship with your dealer,
Sure.
they know that you're not just shaking the bushes. Oftentimes, unfortunately, a lot of people call around, right? You get the phone calls, hey, what are you selling this for today? And they're just asking to see, because they're going to go to the next guy and say, oh, well, the last guy told me he would sell it for this much. And basically what they're doing is they're shopping, and they're just wasting your time. So a lot of coin dealers are not going to spend a tremendous amount of time with somebody like that. But if you've developed that relationship and say, hey, listen, I'm looking for St. Gaudens, and they know that when you find one, it's sold.
Yeah.
That's a totally different ballgame. I will bend over backwards for people like that.
Right.
And not because I know it's money in my pocket. I do it because there's some sincerity, some loyalty there.
Yeah.
Which is, I probably come off as maybe being rude and crude, but unfortunately that's the way it is with business. I mean, you can waste a lot of time chasing after coins that don't sell, and that's what I go back to. You just don't want to bother your other dealers in this business. Unfortunately, that happens a lot. And that's why, that's where I think where the etiquette came from about asking other dealers for coins that may not sell. It's just an if. It's just we won't do it.
Right. Well, very cool, buddy. I'm looking forward to our next videos together. I know we've got a couple of things in the hopper planned, and I'm looking forward to those. And, what's very cool is that you still have Wolverine error coins here. You've got more than me now. I only have one. You've got a couple. So Anybody looking for the error coins, make sure you give my friend Steve a call. Info will be left in the description below.
Yep.
And
we're not afraid to ship, and we recently are now able to take debit cards and credit cards too.
look at you.
Big deal. Hey, we're moving up in the world.
Big boy now. I'll see you later, buddy.
All right, be good, Stormy.
And I would like to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't already become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, this is Empire Precious Metals. Until next time, long live the Empire.